Hello, good evening, and welcome back. IKEA apologises for selling traditional Caribbean jerk chicken dish with rice and peas using the wrong ingredients after blunder sparks backlash over cultural disrespect. Yes, to cut a long story short, IKEA sold jerk chicken with rice and peas, and they served it with rice and peas. That's the problem, because they didn't use kidney beans. So of course it then becomes, well, which part of the Caribbean are you talking about? You're talking about maybe Trinidad, Tobago. It's it's really up to you, because of course each island then has its own way of doing it. Also then with the chicken, if it's jerk and spicy and all that, is then down to the island. But then of course it also comes back to, well, if you're going with traditional and authentic, then which one's authentic? Is it like your grandmother used to make? Because she might make it different from somebody else's grandmother, in which case, who really knows? This all comes down to personal taste. And then it's the same with every country, that they incorporate it into their own culture and cuisine, and then you can make a new dish. Like the chicken tikka masala is a British dish, because we like gravy, and therefore the masala makes it the gravy instead of just being a chicken tikka. So now it's a British dish. And then the way the Japanese make curry or kare is then different from the Indian curry, for example, and their roux that they've made, as a fun aside, it has been taken to space. I believe that's the only curry so far that's gone to space, but I could be wrong on that. I know it was the first one, because then that's their style of curry, and it creates a new dish. But again, it comes back to, what is authentic? Who decides? At what point do we say, okay, they cooked it that way, therefore now it's authentic? As has been mentioned before, I'm sure, that normally the traditional dish of a certain country is just what the peasants ate, because it was what was most available to people, and that's a train going by. Okay. But let's read on. IKEA has apologised for selling jerk chicken dish and removed it from UK stores. Yes, something that the people enjoy, because it's £6.95. No, you can't have it now, because these people complained, so you don't get to enjoy it. As is the case with all of this. Flatpack Furniture Giant was slammed on Twitter. Oh, the great haven that is Twitter, for its take on Caribbean dish. Yes, it's its take, that's fine then. Rice and peas customarily made with kidney beans as opposed to garden peas. Customarily, so it really depends who's making it. So, if it was cooked by a Caribbean cook, does that make it okay? No, because they're saying that it's not jerk chicken, it's the jerk who made it, and then this cook or whoever came up with it should be fired. Wow! Wow! The dish was being served at UK branches along with a jerk gravy for £6.95. Also, similarly to what's authentic is what the poor people would eat, is also what can be grown in those countries. And I know AOC has been slammed recently for this, for not understanding that different vegetables will be grown in different climates, and therefore trying to bring in something from Africa into Canada, for example, if you're trying to grow it, that ain't gonna work. In which case you've got to ship it across, but I didn't think you were a fan of the effect on the climate that would have. The whole global warming kerfuffle, after all, that isn't something that you would be encouraging. Let's read on. IKEA has apologised for selling jerk chicken with rice and peas and removed the dish from stores after the Swedish firm was accused of cultural appropriation. But as Stephen Crowder says, to appropriate is to appreciate. One customer took a photograph of IKEA's version of the dish, which included green garden peas along with white rice. Looked quite nice to me. For IKEA, it's not something that you'd expect a fancy meal, but there we go. And then that's the way that it's normally done, apparently. There we are. But again, it depends on which, because you can use pigeon peas, for example. That's also traditional, which is closer to garden peas than kidney beans. So, what are you getting at? But yes, they're saying that this is killing this person's soul. Rice looks like taking off rice support. People calling for them to be fired. So, Lorena Lorido, head of food at IKEA in UK and Ireland, said IKEA is a Swedish home furnishing company with a much-loved food offer. Their meatballs in particular. We take inspiration from many countries around the world and have always worked to combine different flavours and ingredients to offer delicious, healthy and affordable dishes. We're aware that our new jerk chicken served with rice and peas has created some conversation and in some cases offence. How ridiculous. Here's some food, do you like it? Yes, brilliant. Do you like it? No, I'm offended. What the hell? Our intention was to create a dish for many people to enjoy. That's fine then. But we appreciate that we may have got it wrong. No, many people did enjoy it. You got it completely right. We apologise and we are now relooking at the dish. So what does that mean? That if there's a particular dish that you're not allowed to change it? Seeing as they do say that they take inspiration from many countries. It's not saying that they're going to copy it, because even if they did copy, it'd be cultural appropriation, but now they've changed it, and that's not okay because it's not original. But if it was original, it'd be appropriation. What the hell is going on here? Can't do anything right, can you? So then you've got to stick with your own. In which case, you can't appreciate other cultures, you can't bring them in. You've got to segregate, so you don't want to assimilate. But then their way is better, so they should colonize. But then white people should stop breeding, so it's white genocide. Is that actually how this logically concludes? Not as a conspiracy, but if you follow this through to its logical conclusion, am I missing something? Because you're saying that you can't get inspiration from them because then you're not doing it right and you're being disrespectful, but you can't do what they're doing, otherwise that's cultural appropriation. But if you're doing what white people do, then you're being too racist and bigoted by not acknowledging other cultures. But then trying to get them to assimilate is also racist, to try and get one unified culture. That's not good, because multiculturalism is good. But then, is that it then? So it's all supposed to be segregated. So these other cultures come into white culture, let's say England, for example, and then they have to create their own little colonies inside England. So then where do the English people go? Is that it? So then we get pushed to a smaller place that is the New England. Instead of it being a country, it's now a county, and then it shrink down until that county is affected as well. In which case, essentially, what Englanders are removed. Is that the idea? Because then again, it seems like we're coming back to white genocide. But maybe I'm missing something there. So instead of it being, this is a world, it has to be the world is going to fit in this tiny country, which can't support it. But what do I know? As always, let me know what you guys think below. I'm always interested to hear your opinions. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.